Um, so I think I know most of everyone here. But my name is, first of all, thank you all so much for taking time out of your busy schedule and investing yourself. It's a passion of mine. I'm a continual learner and I love sharing stuff. And I've had the good fortune of meeting Michael quite a few years ago. And he's been a friend and a mentor. It's been an absolutely incredible journey that I've had with him. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Neil Smith. I'm the branch manager of NKS Financial, which is part of Finance of America. We are a residential lender in Sacramento, California. We're currently licensed in California, Washington, Oregon, Nevada, and Arizona. The cool thing is all our business is by referral. And so this referral thing to us is a really big deal. And today, I don't know if Michael knows this, but I call him Mr. Referral. And so we have Michael J. Maher in the house. He is the best-selling author of this book, 7 Levels of Communication. You guys probably have seen this before. This book has really changed my business. Even I was doing business by referral beforehand. It is revolutionized with how I've been doing business. And it's to 7 Levels of Communication to go from relationship to referral. He's also the co-author of a book with Hal Elrod, The Miracle Morning for Real Estate Agents. I highly recommend reading these books. Definitely changed my world. Also, on August 21st, 2018, if you guys have not seen this, Michael has a Referrals podcast. So it's been 3 years and it's pretty incredible, Michael. You've had 200 episodes in 3 years. That's incredible. What I think is even more incredible is that you've had 200,000 downloads on this podcast. That's amazing. And congratulations. That's cool. Notable people on the podcast, they're all recorded. So you guys can go back. Bob Berg, Jack Canfield, Todd Duncan, Hal Elrod, Tristan Amuda, David Childers, Barry Habib are just to name a few. Michael has created this, I call it almost a movement. It's this generosity generation, but not only is a movement, it's also a Facebook group which has about 7,000 people or almost 7,000 people on it on Facebook. I highly recommend you can ping me. I can invite you into the group. It's a really, really good group of people. Well, without further ado, my coach, my mentor, my friend, Michael J. Maher. Thanks, Michael.
Well, first and foremost, thank you. And thank you for all of you attending and making it, including those of you at the beach. So I really appreciate, and I also appreciate your attention. I don't know if you've ever spoken before or ever done a Zoom and you're speaking and the people are like on their phone or they are doing something else. I really, really appreciate it. Here's my job in the next 45 minutes is to give you something worth listening to and seeing. And that's my promise to you. When quarantine hit, a lot of people were hit hard by what was going on. What we have discovered is that with the 7L system, our agents, lenders, financial planners, CPAs, and corporations who use us had their best years ever and continue to have their best year ever in 2021 and increase upon their numbers in 2020. And the results speak very loudly, is that people don't want the ego era agent. They don't want the ego era lender. They want the generosity generation agents and lenders who are going to hear them and help them, not find them, hunt them down, and sell them. So the beauty of this is that what I'm about to share with you has been used by thousands of others to get referrals from the convenience of their home or office without going out and about and having to risk the COVID issues. So the first thing that I have a quick question for all of you that I want you to answer in the chat window. There's a chat button at the very bottom of the screen, and I want an answer from all of you, right? Even you, Lee Proctor. I need an answer from everybody, and I want the answer to this question. What are you calling your database about today? What are you calling your database about today? And just put that in the chat window. And I know that some of you are remote and it might be a little harder to type that in, but I honestly, I am genuinely curious about, and if the answer is nothing, then go ahead and just be truthful and put nothing. And then otherwise, I would really like to find out your answers. right? So Christian said that thanking one of my previous clients for the referral. Okay, that's a good start. And then we have called them about a book I wanted to share, which is called The Book of Joy. Very cool. Let's see. Home values and sending a CMA, right? So you're calling all your database about their home value. Prob is calling them and checking in to see how they're doing and then bring real estate in the conversation softly. Currently licensed in 2 states, Kristen, just letting them know that, hey, I'm licensed in another state. Whatever they are interested in asking them, referencing past notes, conversations. That's from Ed. Grayson is calling to see if they need any referrals to contractors or service providers. Chelsea's got a new career in real estate, letting them know about it, not being a secret agent. Veronica's saying, hey, listen, your property value's probably increased. If it did increase, would you be interested in perhaps selling? Those are great answers. I love it. I love it. And I'm not going to say any of those answers are better than another. But what if you had something to call about every week, every day, and the response that you got from most of your calls were, wow. What if the other person on the other end of the line, they said, wow, during the conversation that you just had with them? That's what I want to get into today. And I'm actually going to share my screen and we're going to jump right into this. And I'm going to try to be as succinct and quick as possible. Can you, let's see, I need to move this. There we go. All right. So can you just give me a thumbs up if you can see the screen? Great. And I'm going to shrink the screen so that all you see is Neil. There we go. All right. So Michael J. Maher's Tribe of Trust. So this is me, CEO of REFERCO, the world's foremost authority in business referrals. We help everybody from the solopreneur, real estate agent, lender, all the way up to Fortune 1000 corporations. I was known as North America's most referred real estate professional with over 500 documented referrals each and every year, over 600 a couple of those years. Number 1 best-selling author of the 2 books that Neil mentioned earlier. I'm the proud father and founder of the Generosity Generation. And you, because you are on this, you're invited by Neil. It is a private group, but you are invited to join GenGen, and you can go to joingengen.com to do that. And I will tell you that referrals are passed every single day, every single week in that group. But more importantly, maybe is the content and the community that you get to be a part of. Referrals Podcast, I encourage you to check it out, referralspodcast.com. You can subscribe at iTunes or Stitcher or Google Play, anywhere you want. Rate and review that when you get a second. Right to the content. So why not you? And here's the question is, why aren't we getting a referral from every single person in our database? Like, you look at your phone and you go to contacts, and it says, whatever it says, 1,000, 2,000, 15,000, 29,000, however many contacts you have in your database. Why aren't we getting one referral from every single person in our database? And the answer may surprise you, right? Some of you might say, well, you're not asking. Well, one of the reasons you're not getting referrals is maybe because you are asking for referrals. I've seen that asking for referrals can repel a lot of people in your database. But I will say that there is a reason, and this is the number 1 reason you're not getting the first referral from everybody you know, from every single person in your database. And I'm telling you that we have to overcome this. We need to be great at conquering this challenge. And the challenge is we need to overcome something called perceived indifference. We're all so bent on looking as successful as possible. We want to look wealthy. We want to look like everything's perfect. We want to look like we don't need any help. But the truth is we do need help. We do want people's referrals. We do want people's business. We do want their communication. We do want to be in relationship with them. Now, we have to conquer perceived indifference. So indifference just means they don't think you care or that you want their business or referrals. So that's pretty easy to conquer. We just have to express ourselves and communicate in a way that shows and proves to them that we do want their referrals and we do want that relationship. And it's easier than you think. I'm going to show you how. Now, we get one referral. It's very special to get one referral. What we want to do now is we want to take that one referral and turn it into two. Now, why do you think the number one reason you aren't getting that second referral from every single referral source? Why aren't we getting that second referral? So they give us one, but they only give us one. They don't give us two. They don't give us three. And by the way, this is a very important answer. How much would it be worth to you if you got just one referral from everybody in your database? Think about that. What if you, in a year, I'm not talking about today, in 1 year, what if you just got one referral? How much would that be worth to you? What volume would you do? How much money would that be in your pocket? What profit would you show? So now, I'm telling you, going from 0 to 1 is tough. But once you get them to 1, you now have momentum in the relationship. So what we want to do is we want to take the 1s to a 2 or 3 or 4 or 9 or 88 in a couple of cases. So the number one reason we aren't getting that second referral from every single referral source is lack of expressed appreciation. Now, appreciation is a very important word, but the most important word in that answer is expressed, because the truth is you are appreciative. You are. You appreciate the money you're going to get from it. You appreciate the client you got. You appreciate them thinking of you. You appreciate all of these things. The problem is there was never a class on expressing appreciation in a way that was attractive. So how do we express appreciation in a way that doesn't seem too much and it's attractive so that they refer us more often? Now, let me ask you this before I jump into the strategy that conquers both of that. Now, let me ask you a question real quick on appreciation. Is appreciation important? Raise your hand if you think appreciation is important. Okay? I'm going to show you how important appreciation is. All right? So here's the thing. Have you ever done something for another human being that you really felt was like above and beyond? You really went out of your way, or you put yourself out there, and then after it happened, they didn't even acknowledge you, recognize it, or appreciate what you've done. How many of you have ever had that feeling? Right? We all have. And here's the thing. Are you less or more likely to do something else for that person? You're less likely to do something for that person. And some of you are like, no, I'll keep doing it. And it's like, why? The first lesson is, why are you doing things for unappreciative people? Quit it, because it's going to drive you nuts. It's going to frustrate you. Act without expectation. The bottom line is that we should do less things for people who are less appreciative. And you know what? We do it even if we don't consciously make the decision. We just tend to gravitate and be attracted to the appreciative. Now, here's the other thing. How many of you have ever done something that you just thought was like who you are or part of your job, or honestly, it's pretty normal for you to do this, and yet the other person was so genuinely and profusely appreciative? How many of you have run into a person like that in your life? Yeah. And here's the thing. Are you less or more likely to do something for that person? You're far more likely. In fact, studies have shown that we will literally almost run through brick walls for appreciative people. We do things for appreciation, and we quit doing things when there is a lack of appreciation. So we know that we need to have appreciation in our business plan. And that may be something that you write down, especially with November, which we call Note-vember, coming up around the corner. All right, I'm going to share a strategy that incorporates appreciation, but it also incorporates a way to get referrals without spending a single dime. This is how you get people to say, wow, when you go to calling them. Now, this is called the Great Retrace. The Great Retrace, first of all, is I'm going to think of a client. In this case, now you can do this with a client. You can do this with a relationship, any relationship. You can do this with a recent referral. You can do this with a networking contact. So all I'm going to do is trace the history of how this person came into my life. That's all I'm going to do throughout this whole strategy. So Stephanie is a seller who was referred to me. So I should probably jot that down. I should probably put her in my CRM. Now I'm going to write down, okay, who referred me to Stephanie? It was Christy. It's actually Christy Dryling. Christy referred me to Stephanie. Should I put that in my database? 100% yes. Some of you, all of you probably do this every time you get a referral. You document the client or potential client. You document the referral source. Now, this is where this strategy is going to go above and beyond what I have seen with most strategies. I'm then going to think to myself, who referred me, connected me to, or introduced me to Christy? And that name is Joyce. Joyce Lehman connected me to Christy at a networking event. Then I think about Joyce. How did Joyce come into my life? Well, Joyce was actually referred to me to sell her townhome. Side note, Joyce has still not sold her townhome. Just throwing that out there. And Denise had referred me to Joyce to sell that townhome. And it turned out Joyce turns out to be a great friend and confidant and networking partner. So then I think to myself, how did I get connected to, introduced to, or whatever with Denise? And God, listen to this.
Thank you for sending that photo, baby.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
I think to myself, how do I get connected to Denise? Well, I couldn't think of it. You know, I mean, here's the thing. There are going to get times when you're going through the lineage where you're like, I don't remember. So what should I do? Should I just end my retrace here? Or is there something I can do? Well, when all else fails, call the database. So guess what? I called Denise and said, Denise, how did we get connected? Well, Denise saw my name in the list of the top 25 agents in Kansas City in the Kansas City Star, the newspaper. So she had actually seen me get in the write-up. And so who was the person who connected me to Denise? Well, it's the person who wrote the article for the Kansas City Star, which is Jay, right? So Jay is actually responsible for connecting me to Denise. Then I think to myself, who connected me to Jay? How did I get Jay in my life? Jay is in my life. Why is it? By the way, Jay, who writes for a newspaper, he also writes for magazines. He also writes for Inc. He also writes for Business Week. He also writes on several blogs, has become a huge person in my life as far as PR. Interestingly enough, maybe it's because of this strategy. Well, Jay was connected me to my old broker, Jennifer. So how did I get connected to Jennifer? It was a guy named Chris Collins. Chris referred me to Jennifer. And then how did I get connected to Chris? It was through Brad. And then how did I get connected to Brad? It was Todd. And then Joe was responsible for me meeting Todd. Now, I could go back, right? So in this example, I want you to know this Great Retrace, this is a recent, right, only a couple years old Great Retrace, and it goes back 10 people. And you might be thinking, well, you know, mine are only going to be 2 or 3. It's going to surprise you how fast this retrace grows, and quickly. The more networking you do, the more it's going to grow. The more conversations you have, period, the more it will grow. Now, what I'm going to do is I could just say, all right, there's the strategy, go do it. Or I could actually go through some sample calls and tell you exactly what I say, how I say it, when I say it, and give you the points of the calls. What do you want me to do? I'll let you vote.
Yeah.
You just want to be done?
No.
You sure? You guys look busy. We good to go?
Good to go.
What do you think, Neil? You want to keep going, or we good?
I there's so much power in this, you guys. I think we got the master here. You got to keep going, Michael. Come on. Let's do it.
All right. Hesitantly, he said yes. Okay. That's how a writer would speak, right? All right. So I'm going to do this. This is, sorry. You go back to share. This is 10 levels deep, but I'm not going to go 10 levels deep. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go 4 calls deep. Here's the joy of this that I want you all to know, is that calls 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, ladies and gentlemen, are identical. I literally say the exact same thing on calls 4 through 10. So I'm going to get you to 4, and then you know that no matter how long your retrace is, you have the script to get referrals. So here we go. So here is what it looks like at the first 4 levels. We've got Stephanie, who was referred to me by Christy. Christy was connected me to by Joyce. Joyce was actually referred to me by Denise. So there are 5 triggers for a retrace. When do I do these contacts? When do I touch the people in the retrace? Okay, every referral triggers a retrace. How do I do it? I'm going to save that for the very end. About 30 minutes from now, I'm going to share with you exactly how I do that. It's going to surprise you. It's free, and it's perhaps maybe the most powerful touch out of all 5 of these. Now, when I get the seller under exclusive right to sell, which is what we call it in Kansas and Missouri, it triggers a retrace. So how do I do that? I will leave a voicemail or text message the people on the strand. You may want to write that down. The best way to do it's voicemail if they're over 40. If they're under 40, a lot of times the best way to do this is through a text message. Every day 0 triggers a retrace. That is always a phone call. That is always a phone call. Always a phone call. I'm going to call. Here's the thing. If you want people to take action on your behalf, give them a call or meet with them in person. Number 4, every contract, those are my funnest, those are the greatest calls ever. Every contract triggers a retrace, voicemail or text. Every closing triggers a retrace, and that will be a voicemail or text or Facebook post as well. All right. So Stephanie is the first call. So the call I'm doing now, it's not the referral call. It's not the exclusive right to sell call. It's not the contract call. It's not the closing call. This is the day 0 call. This is the day that Stephanie's house is going on the market. What we have discovered with this call is that you can move the heavens, you can move the earth. This is, I've sold so many homes myself, which we can do in Kansas, Missouri. We can do both sides of the equation essentially as a transaction broker. You don't have to do it that way. You can farm that out if you want. But we sell our own listings a lot. We're at 36%, which the industry is at 2%. So we're 18 times better than the industry, and I blame it on the day 0 call, or at least most of it. So Stephanie is the seller client. Here is the juice of the call. So I'm going to call Stephanie. Follow along with me and let me know what you think. So I call Stephanie. I go, "Hey, Stephanie." And she goes, "Hey, how you doing?" "Hey, listen, this is Michael J. Maher of the Maher team," or I just say this is Michael, depending on how close we are. And I go, "Hey, listen, today's day 0, and you may start to see showings today or tomorrow. And I want to tell you a couple of things about showings. Number 1 is make every showing happen, no matter what. I know it's inconvenient. I know it sucks. You're going to have a 9 p.m. showing. You're going to have an 8 a.m. showing on Sunday. Make every showing happen. The second thing I want you to know about showings is there's something called time, as you and I know it, but there's also something called realtor time, Stephanie. And all the realtors laugh. Realtor time. So here's the thing about time versus realtor time, Stephanie, is I want you to know that here's what happens when you show properties. You go to the first property and you have it scheduled for an hour. Well, here's what happens. Either you drive up, they look at it, and they go, no. Well, what happens? You're off by an hour the rest of the day. You're early all day. Or this also happens quite often. You get into the house and it takes more than an hour to look at a house because they're very serious buyers. I mean, would you buy a house after only seeing it for an hour? Maybe, maybe not, right? So what happens then, including drive time, is then you're a little bit late. So I want you to know, if there is a showing scheduled 2 to 3 p.m., I want you to leave at 1:30 and I want you to come back at 3:30. So every hour showing for you is really 2 hours. You're going to leave 30 minutes early. You're going to come back 30 minutes later, just to complete the total inconvenience of it all. Stephanie, any questions on showings? Great. Now, before I even get to this next part, let me ask you this, Stephanie. How are you feeling right now? Now, to give you a little bit of backdrop on this, Stephanie's husband has moved to Chicago with a company called Sprint. She has 2 kids, a very large dog, and a very large responsibility. Plus, she works 40 hours a week. So she's busy. She's got a lot of stuff going on. So what do you think she said? And I mean, here's the thing. Who's not busy? Isn't it funny? We thought this quarantine thing was going to be like, oh, nothing to do. But everybody's still like super busy. Everybody's busy. And, you know, with layoffs and cut downs and cutbacks and everything else, moving jobs, a lot of people are moving jobs. It's one of those where everybody's busy. Well, I said, how are you feeling right now? And Stephanie said, you know what? What do you think she said? In the chat window, what do you think she said? What did she reply? Just give me one word as to what you think she said. Overwhelmed, stressed. Overwhelmed, stressed. Now, are these answers for you guys, or is this answer for Stephanie? Busy, yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, she said, because here's what I love about this. I can tell that 99% of you have had listings before, because everybody's like, oh, they're probably excited, right? No, that's not how it works, right? A seller on day 0 has now spent 2 weeks, 4 weeks, maybe even months preparing their home for the market. She said she was exhausted. Stephanie said she's exhausted on day 0. And it's like, Stephanie, I understand. Don't worry about it. We're going to get through this together. Now, I'm going to repeat that. Let's say Stephanie said, I feel a little bit overwhelmed. Stephanie, I understand that. We're going to get through this together. Let's say Stephanie says, oh my God, like chaotic. Stephanie, I understand. We're going to get through this together. Does everybody understand what I'm saying there? So then I'm going to say, you know what? First and foremost, Stephanie, let me just say thank you. I really appreciate you, your husband, the family, giving me this opportunity to work with you. My team is excited. My team is here to help. My team is geared up to sell your home. And I just want you to know that we really appreciate the opportunity to help you. So thank you. Well, thank you. Your team's been great so far. Awesome, Stephanie. I appreciate that. Now, let's talk about marketing a little bit. Do we want to market this home at 95% or 100%? Yeah, I know. Easy question. We want to market this at 100%. Stephanie, I'm going to take care of the 95%. We're going to send this, to over 100 websites. We're going to send this over to millions of people, millions faces in a million places that people are going to see your listing. Here's the thing. I need help with the 5%. If it takes you less than 5 minutes to help us with the 5%, would you do it? Sure. Great. So here's the thing. According to NAR, the National Association of Realtors, between 4 and 6% of all homes sell to a relative of the seller or someone the seller knows, somebody that is a close relationship to the seller. So I need your help getting to that 4 to 6%. Let's call it 5%. So we have a system for that. So here is the system. I am going to send you a link to your listing. You review it, let us know if we need to tweak it, that kind of thing. Most likely, it's going to be fine. But here's the deal. I'm going to give you a short blurb that you can post on Facebook based on listings we've had in the past and what you told us about your house. I want you to post that on Facebook and let people know that, guess what? Your home is on the market. As reluctantly as you want to sell, you're also excited about the opportunity of moving. And you're going to post that on Facebook and Twitter. It's a very short message. It has a link to the listing in there so that if they have questions, they can ask me about those and not bother you. You're already exhausted. You're already overwhelmed. Let me do my job, right? And that's the same with anybody that ever acts interested in your home, shoot me that information. I'll take care of that for you. Also, I am going to shoot you a little longer blurb, 3 or 4 sentences with a link to the listing that I want you to email to everyone you know. So you use Google. In the BCC, you're going to put everyone you know, right? So blind carbon copy. What that does is so that everybody doesn't see each other's email. But here's what I want you to do in the to box and the CC box. In the to box, I want you to put your name, your email address. That's right, you're emailing yourself. That way you know when it lands. But I want you to CC Michael at kansascityhometeam.com. Okay? That way I know when it lands and I can anticipate any questions, but also if they want to reply, then they can reply and get a question to me. So that's it. That's all you have to do to get to the 5%. Stephanie, are you good to go? Great. Awesome. Stephanie will have that out to you in the next 24 hours so that you can share it on Facebook and Twitter, and you can send an email out to the people you know. Also, I am getting ready to call Christy, who referred me to you. Is there anything that you want me to tell Christy? Oh, tell her hi. You know what? I'll have her call you so that you can tell her hello. You guys need to chat anyway, probably, right? So I'll have her call you. So, Stephanie, the last thing I want to do is just, all right, with showings, just make every showing happen. Also, I want you to realize that there's time versus realtor time, and you need to make sure every showing lasts about 2 hours for you. And then the other thing I want you to know is you can always ask us questions, but we have a system that we've already explained to you, but I want to repeat it now because it becomes real. And that is every seller, every Monday. Stephanie, we are going to call you every Monday that your home is on the market. Once your home gets under contract, we will call you every Monday until it closes. After you close, we will call you every Monday for the rest of your life. Okay, I'm just kidding, Stephanie. But here's the thing. I want you to know, we call every seller every Monday. That's our system. We want to speak to you when the market is speaking the loudest to us. And the market speaks the loudest in real estate on weekends. Stephanie, are there any questions? Everything good? Yes, I feel a lot better now. Awesome, Stephanie. Good stuff. I appreciate it. Look for the email with all the information that's coming to you, and then let's go, right? Let's make it happen. I really appreciate you. Click. All right, so that's the Stephanie call. Now I'm going to do the Christy call, and then I've got a couple of questions for everybody. There we go. So this is Christy. She's one of my favorite people in the world. Christy, one of my best referral sources. Christy, so now I'm going to call Christy. Is it a good idea to call the referral source? 100%. The more I can, tie that together, the better. So I call Christy and I go, hey, Christy, Stephanie's house is on the market. What does Christy say? Right? She says, thank you for helping my friend, or good news, or that's awesome, right? Or, oh, good, finally? Yes, I've heard that. So she said, thanks for taking care of my friend. Well, the first thing I want to say, Christy, is thank you. Thank you for this opportunity. We've really enjoyed getting to know Stephanie and her family better, and we're genuinely excited about getting her and the family back together in Chicago. So thank you. She says, well, thank you. Awesome. Here's the other thing is, Christy, I need your help on a couple of things. Number one is I am going to send you the link to the listing to Stephanie's house. I would like you to review what her house looks like on the internet and give me your feedback. Would you be open to that? Would you give that review? Absolutely. Awesome. Here's the thing is we've done over 100 things to prepare this home for the market, and Stephanie's done quite a bit too. We're getting ready to send it out to 1 million faces and places on the internet. Here's the thing. Would you do me a favor if I sent you a short blurb that you could share on your Facebook and Twitter feed and email out to your friends who are in the Kansas City area or might be interested? Would you send that out to your friends and post on Facebook and Twitter? Absolutely. I'd love to. Awesome. I appreciate that. It's already written, by the way. All you have to do is copy and paste it. And just so you know, it has a link to the listing on there and my information. So if they have any questions, they're not going to bug you with it. They're going to come to me. So just so you know that. Now, the next thing is I need a little favor for Stephanie. is, will you do me a favor? Will you call Stephanie and kind of pep her up? I just want you to know that I just got off the phone with Stephanie and I asked her how she was feeling. And Christy, she said overwhelmed. She said exhausted. Christy, it's day 0 and she's exhausted. Can you call her and just pep her up? Let her know that she's in good hands with a professional agent who's going to help her a ton, and just like make her smile. Can you do that? Awesome. That's fantastic. Christy, I appreciate that. And then also, hey, listen, I'm getting ready to call Joyce, who connected me to you, and I'm just going to thank her for connecting me to you. Is there anything you want me to tell Joyce? You tell her hi? Let me do this. I'll have her call you, and you can tell her hi in person. You guys need to reconnect anyway, right? Yes? Okay, great. Be my pleasure. I'm calling her anyway. I'll call her. You call Stephanie, and then we'll reconnect later. Here's the other thing, is I'm going to send you a little blurb about the home that you're going to post on Facebook and Twitter, a little blurb that you can send out by email, and then you call Stephanie, I'll call Joyce, and then here's the other thing. We're going to get this home under contract. We're going to get it closed. Do you mind if I just update you when those things happen? Is that okay? I'd love to know when those things happen. Fantastic. Christy, I appreciate you. We'll talk to you soon. Have a great one. That's the Christy call. So I'm going to pause right here, and I'm going to say, what have we learned so far? What have you learned so far? So can we take people off mute if they raise their hand? Do you guys know how to raise your hand there's a way down below, it says reactions, and you can actually click raise hand. I want you to raise your hand and tell me one thing that you've gotten so far from what we've talked about.
Or just raise your hand like this, old-fashioned way, and I'll unmute you. Or you can unmute yourself. Here you go, Christian.
Oh, you're on mute, Christian.
Here, hold on. There you go. You're live.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. I learned that connecting the referral sources is important because I didn't even think of that.
So connecting Christy.
Meaning have them call each other.
So what does that do? What's the power of, is there some power to that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What's the power of having Christy call Stephanie?
Well, I think to reassure Stephanie that she's in good hands.
Yeah, here's what you don't want to do. How many of you love getting a listing, having it listed for 3 days, and then they cancel? You guys love that? Anybody here love that? I mean, we work too hard to get a listing on the market to have a cancellation. I'm telling you, if it's referred and you have the referral, call the seller. They will never cancel on you as long as you're doing a good enough job, right? So it reconnects. What does that do for Stephanie, Christian?
So remind me, Stephanie is the one who referred, right?
Stephanie's the seller, SS.
Oh, the seller.
Stephanie's seller, right?
It gives her some comfort and a little bit more of a pep in her step, I think, to get her through the week.
Yeah, she's exhausted. Here's the other thing. How many of you love to go through a challenge alone, right? Other than Ed, right? I mean, everybody else here loves to go through a challenge. I mean, that guy's on a Zoom call shirtless. I mean, that guy's not afraid of anything. Like literally, I saw him wrestling a shark earlier out in the ocean. I think that was him. Or maybe it was Fortnite. I don't know what I was looking at. But here's the thing, is I want you to know is that now Stephanie knows that she's going through this with somebody else, right? And also, it also raises the level of accountability as well. Because Stephanie's like, people are watching. People knows what's going on. So she's also, here's the other thing. Christy and Stephanie talking. Is Christy less or more likely to share on Facebook and Twitter and send the email if she's talked to Christy or talked to Stephanie?
More likely.
Yeah, she's part of it. Here's the other thing. Please notice with the Stephanie call, I made Stephanie and Christy a part of my marketing team, the 5%. Nobody will ever fire the marketing team that they're on. Nobody will ever fire the marketing team that, here's the thing. You guys ever call expireds? You guys know the script. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I just want you to know that there's 4 reasons a home sells: location, price, condition, and marketing. Which of those 4 do you think was the most important reason to your home not selling? Well, here's the thing. Who do they blame location on? Well, God is the only one they can blame that one on. Who are they going to blame the condition on? Are they going to blame it on themselves that their condition is not? No. Who are they going to blame the price on? Right? Whoever, right? But here's the thing. What's the easy one? It's easy to blame the marketing and the agent. But I'm telling you right now, you can't badmouth the marketing team that you were on. So there's a really powerful piece of this that a lot of people miss, that we're putting them on the marketing team. Here's the other thing. All right, so Christian, great point. Let's make sure we get let's get two more, Neil, on what they got. And then Christian, do you know how to lower your hand?
I will figure it out.
I'm glad. I'm good. All right, who else has a thought on what we've learned so far?
So you guys, I've seen Michael do this many, many times. And I want to tell you, he doesn't go this deep very often onto the how-tos. There's so much of the psychology around this, the blocking and tackling, that's very specialized that we're getting today, that literally, and Michael did this presentation a month ago and he didn't go this deep. And so I'm glad you went this deep with
You
my
told me they were top producers.
Yeah. So
You said they could handle it. I'm not sure now.
Neil, Elizabeth has her hand up.
Elizabeth. Okay. Go ahead, Elizabeth.
So for me, the point that's the most interesting is the pulling in of the relationship of the other people, because then it's like it takes a village versus just me helping you. So it also makes the original referrer feel important and special for having done this and appreciated. So I think the key piece of the puzzle is going back to that appreciation portion, where by acknowledging them and asking for their help, it's the verbiage of asking for their help.
Mm-hmm.
And you do something for me that I think is the trigger that really makes people feel empowered,
Mm-hmm.
because you're asking for help versus they're normally thinking of you as this rock star out there doing whatever. So it brings you down to a level where they feel that they're maybe more compatible with you through the process. And I think that's really important.
So Elizabeth, you bring up a very powerful psychological piece to this that most people miss. Here's the thing. If you want to get a referral, which is better, giving a gift or asking for them to do a favor for you? If you want to get a referral from someone, which is better, giving them a gift or asking for them to do a favor for you?
Obviously asking for the favor. I do both.
So the right answer here is the favor. It's more powerful to ask for a favor than it is to give a gift. You may want to write that down and get a tattoo, because that is so counterintuitive, so counter to what's being taught. The other thing I want you all to know is, you don't need items of value. You don't need trinkets. You don't need any of that. Here's what you need. You are the item of value. Be the item of value. You are the gift. You are the gift. And that's the truth, right? I think we need to remember that is that there is no substitute for you being a loving, generous, appreciative human being. There's no substitute for that. So here's the thing. There's something called the Benjamin Franklin effect that I encourage all of you to read and look up on Wikipedia today. The Benjamin Franklin effect is that people are more likely to friend you and like you if you ask them to do a favor and they do it. When they do a favor for you, the psychology is, I must like them because I'm doing this for them. Well, get really good at asking for help. Isn't that counterintuitive to every prideful thing you've been told for 30, 40 years is we're all great at helping. We suck at asking for help. So we need to take that tool, we need to take that skill and develop it. Now, I'm not going out there and saying ask for referrals. No, because that puts them in an awkward place. You want to ask people to do things that are very easy, very simple things that don't just help you. Ask them to help others. I just had this example today. I have a friend who's trying to get a reciprocal license in Georgia. He's struggling to pass the test. Well, I connected him to a gal who her mom is in education locally, and it's one of those where she was more than happy to help him, right? So connect. ABC, it used to be always be closing. The new ABC is always be connecting. Always be connecting. Ask people to do you a favor for someone else. I'm telling you, I wish I had time. I'm going to go through the next two calls, and then we can break that down a little bit. All right. So now I'm going to go to the Joyce call, and I want you to be careful with this, okay? I'm going to call Joyce, and you have to realize Joyce is a little different than Christy and Stephanie. So I'm going to call Joyce, and I'm going to go, hey, Joyce, Stephanie's house is on the market. What does Joyce say?
Who's Stephanie?
Oh, yeah. She says, who's Stephanie? Isn't it great when the people you're calling know their scripts? You know, have you ever been an actor or actress and like the other person doesn't know their scripts? It sucks. You got to make stuff up. But here's the thing is I love it when they know their lines and they always say, who's Stephanie, which I love. And I go, thank you for asking because you played an important part of this. And they say, how? Or what did I do? And I go, I'm so glad you asked. Do you remember connecting me to Christy? Christy, yeah, Christy Drive. That's right. Christy. Yeah, I remember that. Okay. Well, Christy referred me to Stephanie. So Joyce, the first reason for my call is to express my appreciation. If you had never connected me to Christy, I would have never had this opportunity to help Stephanie and her family. So thank you. What does Joyce say? She says, wow, or she says, thank you, or that's awesome. I do get that a lot. That's awesome, right? Well, that's awesome. And here's the thing is I need your help a little bit here, Joyce. Here's the thing is we've done over 100 things to prepare Stephanie's home for the market. We're getting ready to send it to 1 million faces and places on the internet. If I sent you the link for what the home looks like on the internet, would you look at the home and give me your honest feedback? Sure, that'd be awesome. Awesome. Here's the thing. If we make the changes that you send or you think it looks fine, would you do this favor? Would you mind if I sent you 2 or 3 sentences that you could post on Facebook or Twitter and send out to your friends in Kansas City? You never know, right? It may not be the house for them, but it might be for someone they know. Wouldn't it be cool if someone got their dream home because you simply sent out an email to help them? The answer is sure, right? So I'm going to send you, that's copy and paste easy. You'll be able to share it on Facebook, Twitter, and send it to your friends in Kansas City in about 5 minutes. Would you do that for me? Awesome. And here's the other thing is Joyce, not only do I appreciate that, but Christy and Stephanie appreciate that as well. And just wanted to say thanks. Here's the other thing is I just got off the phone with Christy. Joyce, she said, hey, I said, I'm calling Joyce. Do you want me to give her a message? And Christy goes, yeah, tell her hi. I go, you guys need to reconnect. So here's the thing, right? You guys need to reconnect. So here's Christy's name and number. You, I don't know if you have it or not, but give her a call. Here's the other thing. I'm getting ready to call Denise, who referred me to you. And is there any message that you want me to deliver to her? Well, we need to reconnect too. You know what? I'll have Denise give you a call. That sounds awesome. I appreciate that. And then here's the thing, Joyce, we're going to get this home under contract. We're going to get it closed. Do you mind if I just reach out to you when that happens to let you know what's going on? Sure. Awesome. Joyce, I really appreciate it. Have a great one. We'll talk to you soon. Click. All right. I'm going to call Denise. And remember, Denise is number 4. And here's the thing. It's all the same. Literally what I say is the same except for one part. So I go through Stephanie's house on the market. She says, who's Stephanie? And a lot of times at this point with Denise, just so you guys know, Denise has been through probably 100 great Retrace calls. And I'm not exaggerating. So I go, Stephanie's house is on the market. She goes, just send me the stuff. I'm not even joking. That is literally how this works. So, all right. So I go through it. Will you share it? Yes. Thank you. Here's the coolest part. Denise, if you had not connected me to Joyce, if Joyce had never connected me to Christy, I would have never had the opportunity to help Stephanie and her family. So thank you. And she goes, wow. The rest of these calls, they will say, wow, when you go through the expression of appreciation of the Retrace. All right, now here's what's different. I'm going to say, hey, I just got off the phone with Joyce. Will you give her a call? She says yes. Then I go, Denise, do you know Christy? You don't know? Oh my gosh, two powerful women like you living in the same city that don't know each other. Here's what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to do a 3-way email. I will introduce you to her. I'll introduce her to you. And then you guys take it from there. Does that sound okay? I'll do that email today. Fantastic. I appreciate that. And then also, Denise, just so you know, we're going to get this home under contract. We're going to get it closed. Do you mind if I just update you when that happens? Awesome. I appreciate you so much. Have a great day. Click. And that's the Denise call. Okay? And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the Great Retrace. There are 5 triggers for the retrace. Remember, we're going to do every referral triggers a retrace. That's when when I get the referral, I write down the retrace and then I do something. I'm going to share that with you in about 2 minutes. Exclusive right to sell. And then the day 0 I just did with you. And that is a phone call, phone call, phone call, phone call, phone call. Every contract triggers a retrace. That's voicemail or text. Every closing triggers a retrace, which means voicemail or text. Okay? All right. So please sign. Gary Keller likes me. Dave Ramsey loves me. Win the referral game. Please go to RMS 21. By the way, you can go to RMS 21. It's typically $497. We went virtual and we made it affordable for everyone. You can literally go to Referral Mastery Summit for $97. Referral Mastery Summit is 3 days, 30 plus breakouts on people who are implementing, not talking about implementing the 7L system and thriving in the generosity generation. It's all referral based, all relationship based. Bottom line is they're doing it through love, generosity, and appreciation, and all of the strategies that are incorporated in 7L. So you can use your phone if you want and use this QR code to get 20 profile pictures of me. I'm just kidding. You will actually get sent to RMS 21 and by the way, this is kind of a Neil Smith only, and the code is actually Neil. Neal. If you code Neal, Neal, you will get $400 off RMS. Please do not share that code unless Neil says it's okay.
And for those of you guys that don't know about this, reach out to me. We can talk further. I can kind of explain to you. I mean, talk about your keynotes real quick. I mean, you have some big guns also showing up. It's just not just Michael there too.
Yeah, so we've got Keeping Current Matters that's going to come in and give the economic outlook of the fourth quarter in 2022, which is like that's worth its weight in gold, right? And we've got so much on that is going to be, Roger's going to be speaking. We have tons of people who are going to come in. But I think the real value of it is people like you and me who are implementing and then putting their twist on these referral generating strategies. And then these are things you literally can go and put into play the next day or the same day and get referrals. Toral just got 95 referrals in one day and generated 168 for her referral partners and the business people she knows in one day, right? So, and this is, COVID friendly. This is quarantine friendly. People are having their best year ever. You're not, maybe you don't get 95 referrals in one day, but you don't want 95 referrals in one day. Trust me, you guys don't want 95 referrals in one day. How many of you would like one referral in one day?
No.
Right? 5 a week would be really good. And it's a really good start.
So Elizabeth had a question, Michael, about sharing the script to send to Facebook. I can get that from you, right? And I can send it to her.
So here's the thing on that here, I'm going to give you, since Elizabeth asked, I'm going to give you a little tidbit that has been very good for us as far as listing. We list over 100 homes every year. And so what does that look like? So we ask the seller the following, Elizabeth. We say, what are the top 3 reasons you bought your home? And we have 3 blanks. And they say community pool, close to schools. It was a 2-story. You know what research shows? The reasons the person buys that house are the same as the reasons for the person who bought the house. The same reasons that the seller has for buying the home are going to be what the buyer. So guess what we write in the by the way, what we're sending is we're sending the description from MLS. And by the way, we do not type that in all caps. I don't know where that came from. Like, but you can use different, like, you can use dashes, you can use slashes, you can do things to make things stand out. I use squiggly paragraph brackets. Squiggly is the official term, I think. I think they're called English brackets, but I'm not sure. But here's the thing. We say, hey, you're going to love this house. Per the seller, they've enjoyed the community pool. They've enjoyed being close to schools, and they've enjoyed that this is a 2-story with all the benefits of a 2-story, right? So that's what we write in the description. We don't get super flowery. We don't, it is what it is, They're going to look at the pictures anyway. You don't want to say light, open, airy, and bright, and then it's like a subterranean home, right? So I think that's my advice on that. Have the seller write the description. Here's the other thing. If the seller writes the description, are they less or more likely to share it on Facebook? Just saying. Are they less or more likely to email it? They're more likely because they wrote it. Now, do we spice it up some? Yes, the answer is yes. Okay, I promised you in the beginning to tell you what I do when I get a referral. And the referral triggers a retrace. So I make the retrace, and then here's what I do. I go to the Facebook page of the 4th or 5th person down in the retrace. If you remember correctly, Denise was the 4th person down. And I will tell you, honestly, in today's world, I would have gone to Jay. I would have posted it on Jay's world or Jay's wall. Back then, I posted it on Denise. But here's the thing. Jeff is 3 people deep on this referral. Actually, 4 people deep. So I said, hey, this is posted on his wall. Hey, dude, just wanted to, that's how we talk in Kansas. Just wanted to say thank you. James Schneider, who is tagged, that should be blue, referred me a great seller today. Please note, I did not say seller's name or address. And if you remember correctly, you connect me to Christina Larson, who introduced me to James Schneider at a networking function. So without you connecting me to Christina, I would have never met James. And as a result, I would have never had the opportunity to help this family. Thank you, you the man. And then Jeff says, you have a great memory, brother. And then I said, I have a great brother, if I remember right, because I'm witty like that. So I promised that, by the way, if you don't do anything else from the Great Retrace, and all you do is when you get a referral, you trace it and post it on the 4th or 5th person's down wall, you will still get referrals. I mean, who sees this? All of Jeff's friends. Who sees this? All of James's friends. Who sees this? All of Christina's friends. Who doesn't see this? My friends. Isn't that interesting? Powerful.
Michael, I mean, this stuff is so powerful. I mean, I really got this, and you guys we're a treat because he just gave us an abridged version. I've seen Michael speak on this for 3 hours, and imagine there's so many more layers of this going into the 4th and the 5th and the 6th. Yeah. It's just incredible. And
this is one retrace. What happens when we start to retrace everybody? All of a sudden, it's like a beautiful mind, right? I mean, like all these trends start to come out, and we see people hubs, which are ambassadors, place hubs, which are places we need to hang out more often. And then there's interest hubs, which is things that we should do more often. The stories I could tell you about doing Great Retrace with coaching clients is just mind-boggling,
Yeah. Well, I want to honor everybody's time.
Where are we at?
And real quick, I am doing, you have to be present to win. I have a little app thing on my phone that I can do a little raffle thing or drawing.
What are we giving away here?
I want to give away an entry to the RMS.
That's awesome.
Let me do this real quick. I'm going to tap. I have this little app thing, and you guys probably seen this stuff before. You have to be here, and the winner is Tina. Tina,
she might already be signed up.
Tina, are you already signed up? Oh,
she's already signed up.
Signed up. I signed up last year. Absolutely. Wouldn't miss it for nothing.
Okay,
I love
well,
it.
I'm gonna
thank
go
you,
somebody
Neil.
else that hasn't been, okay? Okay, next person, let's see. Veronica.
She might also already be signed up. That'd be interesting. Hunter, are you signed up or no?
I don't know if she is. Veronica, you there?
Veronica, can you type in the chat? I think she was on her phone.
I think she had to drop.
Okay.
Let me see.
Well, I must be present.
Oh, no,
to
I'm
win.
sorry. She's still there.
Yeah, I see her. Veronica. Well, I hate to say this and do this, Veronica, if I don't hear from you, I gotta go.
Oh, there she is. Oh, I thought she just came off mute. Nope. No. She's not
Okay,
there.
well, we're gonna keep going. Grayson, you still on?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Grayson, I'll get you an entry to this. This will be really good for you.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you so much.
You are welcome. Hey, Michael, I want to thank you so much, everybody. We haven't mentioned this. I'm actually a certified referral trainer for Michael, and so if you guys have any more questions in this whole space, this book is absolutely incredible. I would love to help you and share, and would share with your office. You let me know. I'm here to help. So I really appreciate it. And Michael, I know you're a busy man, so I really do appreciate you being here and doing this for me.
My pleasure. And by the way, I mean, Neil is a certified referral trainer. His specialties are around the Great Retrace and time management. So I know that if you have a problem, it can probably be solved with time management. So I would check with him on that. And then just really know that I appreciate you. Neil, appreciate you being on. And, you know, Neil's trying to add value to all of you in a way that helps you get more business, because he knows if he helps you get more business, maybe it'll help him get more business. So I think the bottom line is I really appreciate all of you being on, and wish you the best in the fourth quarter. I hope to see you at RMS. It's rms21.com. You can now go for $400 off, which is amazing. And, you know, you're going to get 32 more ideas like I just gave you.
And I'll send you all an email to that regard, so you guys can have that too. Thank you, guys. You guys have a great day.
Thank you.
Hey, Neil, you've got a couple questions on the chat. You want to look through them before we shut it down?
Time management club. Yeah, I will. Thank you.
Elizabeth's still on there.
Hey, Neil, thanks a lot, man.
You're welcome, Ed. Have fun. Hey, Elizabeth, I did saw your other question too.
Sorry, Facebook.
Yeah, I don't know. Michael hasn't talked much about LinkedIn. I tell you what, the
I'm noticing a
power.
lot of my high-end clients are not doing social anymore.
Yeah, well, I've gotten so much on this from just the phone calls. It's the power, because you've been doing this a long time. Sometimes I don't know about you, but me, I have call reluctance to call somebody I haven't talked to in a year or two, right? And you may haven't, and I've been not so perfect about it. But if they're on a downline, like 4 or 5 deep, I've called them, and all of a sudden what you're doing is you're getting top of mind with them. So they referred you. They're in this referral tree, if you want to go like back to Joe Stump and stuff like that. You're in this referral tree, and you got them re-engaging. I've literally, when I first had this happen, there's a client of mine, you actually might know him, Brian Fippen. He's in Lamb Park. I told him, hey, bud, how's it going? I got 2 people right now I'm closing this month because of you. And he's like, what? How is that? And I go, it's because of this, and you referred this. He goes, oh my God, that's cool.
Hey,
And
Neil,
Brian
didn't I refer Fippen to you?
no, he told me about you, Ed.
Oh, no.
I knew him through volleyball.
Okay.
And so then I said, then this other person was this, and this. And he's like, oh my God, this is great. So literally, Elizabeth, he hadn't referred me as somebody in 5 years. And at one point he referred me 10 people in a year. He all of a sudden re-engaged with me, and I got 3 referrals just that year alone.
Wow.
It's because all you're doing is you're saying thank you. It costs you a little bit of time, and the people are so appreciative. It's really cool.
So what is the time management class component that, he mentioned.
So I've taught several of them for him. I kind of geeked out into that space because that's kind of my bailiwick. The whole premise of what we do, Michael have you read his book?
No, I need to get that.
You need to get it. He has a pyramid of communication. There's three things at the very top of the pyramid that we all should be doing. One is face-to-face, others doing trainings, others doing phone calls. And so really it's going back to old school, and what he teaches is that it's the old stuff. Technology, so many people hide behind emails and stuff, and that really doesn't do that. The reason why you do an email or what have you is to do a conversation. It's kind of like, negotiating a contract via text or saying, hey, you want to do those via phone call, right? And that's the whole premise. And so what I've done is, and he and I have worked on, and I've spoke on this on many occasions, is focusing on the one thing that is going to get you the most business, and that's being in the influential zone. And what I've found with a lot of people, myself included, is that if you don't focus on it and don't have a measurable on it, you don't do as well. And so what I'll do is I'll take people in a time management situation, say, hey, what's your ideal time block? What are you doing? And then we'll track is how much time they're actually spending talking to people. And probably not, I imagine you're on the phone talking to a lot of people, right? Because you're pretty good on the phone, but a lot of people are not. And they don't spend the time. They think that they're working their butt off. And you've seen this a lot, I'm sure, where their agents work 40, 50 hours a week and they've talked to 15 people the whole week. And you're going, what the heck are you doing? And so that's the thing, is you start tracking it. And what I do is I track on a daily basis. I go reactively and is saying, what was my goal to be in the influential zone, which is, talking to different people this many hours, and what did I achieve? What I found for most people, and you and Ed are probably the exception here, is that most people are not on the phone as much as they think they should be, and their income is commensurate. And so when you start tracking it and you double their influential time, you're actually doubling their income because they're spending more time in that zone. If you triple that, which is insane to think about, like if you spend an hour a day on the phone talking to people, whatever, if you go to 2 hours, I guarantee your income is going to go up. If you go from 2 hours to 3 hours, and so on and so forth, it'll increase. And then what you do is you track it on a percentage basis. Michael tries to have your goal. He says it. His goal is for you to spend 80% of your day in the influential zone. I've done it, and I about fell over the next day because I was so tired.
So what is he calling the influential zone? What is
that? That is face-to-face, right? Okay. Doing an event, because he's huge in events. And so like I, for instance, just did an event even during the pandemic. I invited 400 clients. My goal was 100 people. We did the comedy club down in Old Sac, but I had 25 people there that were pretty good clients and referrals, right? So doing an event. I've also this year, I've done a virtual where I had a chef cook to my top clients. And we did a whole thing around that and had a charity tied to it and everything. So one-on-one events or phone calls, and spending 80% of your day in that space. And when you do an event, it's a levered situation, right? Because they're coming to you. This is different than the old pop by, right? Where you're dropping a Chotsky thing to them. You're doing an event and having them come there. And what's going to happen is if you have A+ clients and it's like 1 and 1 equals 4 or 3, right? If you have a bunch of A+ clients and you do an event, they're going to be talking to a client that maybe just introduced to you and they're there. And then they're going to be like, wow, the psychology around this is that, hey, Neil must be pretty cool because all these other people like him too.
Got it. Okay.
So, and I think you get it, because what Michael's done for me is because I did Buffini and I did all those other things, but he's taken the psychology around this and he's taken it at such a high level. So
cool.
Yeah. Well, I hope you helped. I'm glad you can make it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Neil.
Thanks, Ed. Take care, guys.
Appreciate you, Neil. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Take care.